Yes, I know you read the title and you're probably coming to the comment section right now. Oh no, attack percentage is better. Don't run Energy Regen. Okay, guys, listen to me. Hear me out here. I do think Energy Regen is better on Jingliu than attack percentage. Now, we're going to get into that a little bit later in the video. This is a build guide for Jingliu, talking about what I think to be her best build in the game right now. So, we're going to talk about all of that today, and maybe I can convince you to run Energy Regen on your Jingliu. We'll have a comparison at the end of the video with attack percentage versus ERR. So yeah, gamers, let's go ahead and jump right into what she does first as far as her skills and everything like that goes. If you want to skip to that part, there are going to be timestamps in the video for that. So let's kind of talk about what she does so you guys can have a better understanding of why I want to run ERR on her. So we'll actually start off with a talent first here. This talent is absolutely massive, so we're just going to skim over it. Basically what this talent does is whenever she gets 2 stacks of her thing, she'll be entering the transmigration state. With this, she'll get her action advance forward. Her crit rate's going to be increased by a lot. She'll also be increasing her attack by an absolute crap ton. So this is where all of her damage comes from. All of her damage comes from when she's in the transmigration state, which is one of the reasons why I think Energy Regen is going to be superior for her, because it is going to allow you to be in that state more consistently. This is the bread and butter of her kit. This is the main thing you strive for. We won't talk about her bonus effects right now. We'll get into that in a second here. Let's go ahead and talk about her skill now. Her normal skill is going to deal damage to one enemy, and she'll also be getting a stack of this boost. When she goes into this state, she'll obviously be doing a lot more damage. Her damage multiplier also increases for the single target attack, and she's also going to be dealing damage to adjacent enemies. This does not cost any skill points at all, but it does allow you to recover your energy at a higher rate. And then finally, her ultimate move is going to be dealing damage to a single target and adjacent enemies, and this will also be giving her 1 stack of her talent along with that, so this is really nice to keep in mind as well. So just as a brief rundown of her skills and everything like that, let's go ahead and talk about her traces and everything like that. Honestly, you should be aiming for just about all of her traces, guys. I mean, the HP you could probably skip on as far as small nodes go, but as far as these other nodes go, you get a lot of crit damage. I think you get around like 50% crit damage from her nodes here, and you would think with this you need to be able to crit rate, but no, you just get so much crit rate from her talent already that you really don't need to run it. You also get a lot of speed from this too, so you don't really need to run like that much as far as speed stats go, so that's also really pog as well. Talking about some of her like bonus abilities now, her first one's going to be whenever she's in the transmigration state, it's going to increase her effect resistance by 35%. This is just a free effect res, so she's not getting CC'd, nothing is happening to her when she's in this state. I'm telling you, she gets everything in her kit, everything that is good for her when she's in this state, so you want her to be in that state as much as possible. Number 2, after using Transcendence Flash, her next action will be advanced forward by 10%. This is going to be her standard basic skill when she's not in her state. Basically, it just makes her go faster so she can use it again quicker. And her last bonus ability is whenever she's in that transmigration state, she'll be increasing her ultimate damage by 20%. This is really huge. Like I said, this is why we're packing down so hard on that Energy Regen to keep getting the ultimate back, keep the state up, keep doing more damage in that ultimate phase there. As far as the upgrade order, I would recommend upgrading her abilities in. I would upgrade her talent first. Her talent is what gives her everything. It gives her more crit rate. It gives her more attacks she can scale off of, or basically more attacks she can get from your allies whenever she deducts that HP. So talent always number 1. I would definitely focus on that first. Second is going to be her skill attack. This is where most of her damage is going to be coming from right here, is going to be her skill attack, Moon on the Glacial River. And then finally, you'll just level up your ultimate. You really don't need to invest much into your basic attack. It's just kind of down bad. If you want to, I guess you can. If you want to be a perfectionist like this person is, this is not my account. This is someone else's account that already have them. I didn't pull them on main account. Not to say they're bad. I just didn't want them. So let's go ahead and change gears now, and let's talk about our second topic of the night now, which is why you should be subscribing to the You Too Can't See Me YouTube channel, because we do great and amazing things over here. We bring unique and maybe sometimes copium takes, which is all good to see in a channel, right? Surely. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and talk about these relics. Now, relic set, pretty simple, pretty to the point here. I think her best overall generalized set is going to be the 4-piece ice set. With the 2-piece is obviously going to be increasing your ice damage by 10%, and with the 4-piece is going to be increasing their crit damage by an extra 25%. This also plays a pretty big role with my claim I'm making with the Energy Regen rope. So this is why I recommend it just as a general set overall to run. And I know you're probably going to go to the comments, oh no, you two. No, that 4-piece with the brilliant stars is better for her. Oh, it's so much better. And I do agree, against quantum enemies, for sure it's better. If you're running a lot of defense shred on the team, aka if you have Pela on the team, and if you have her signature light cone, I think that the 4-piece Genius of the Brilliant Stars does offer you around a 3 to 5% damage increase. It is a pretty nice set to run if you have that. Now, I wouldn't say go out of your way to farm it. I mean, you could probably just take your set off of Zila or your QQ and just use that set on them. I think that would also work pretty fine as well. But I think just as an overall set that the 4-piece ice set is the best set to run. And that's really all I have to say about that. I mean, obviously set bonus doesn't matter too much. You're really just focused on getting main and substats. So run whatever you have the best of as far as your main and substats go at the end of the day. Because set bonuses aren't really going to make that big of a difference if your like substats and main stats are complete crap, right? Talking about the planar ornaments now. The planar ornaments, I would just run Runelet. Runelet is going to be the best in slot for her because all of her damage is coming from her skill attack and her ultimates, most of it coming from the skill attack, and this does boost up that skill damage by 20%. Also on top of this, you do get a lot of free crit rate in her kit. When she goes into that state, she's getting an extra 50%. So theoretically, you only need around 12% crit rate because you do get a crit rate from just having the set. You only need 12% from your actual kit itself to actually proc this ability off. It's really easy to activate. So yeah, that's what I would recommend. Sasato can also work. It's about a 5% damage drop off, but overall, like I said, I think Runelet is just the best set to run on her. Hopping into these main stats now, as far as your boots, obviously just run speed up here. You want her to be as speedy and as fast as possible, so you can keep activating her transmigration state, so you can keep her attacking more and more and more. Super important, just run speed boots here. As far as a chest plate, just run crit damage here. I don't see any reason why you would want to run crit rate here. You already have a lot of crit rate going to the kit. I know in my pre-build guide I said run crit rate, but she does give you a lot of crit rate, and I really don't think you need it unless you are really struggling and you cannot get that 12% crit rate from your substats. Then I would recommend running crit rate in that circumstance, but overall just run crit damage here. On your sphere, just run ice damage boost. This is going to be the best thing to run here. And then finally, on your rope, you can either run attack percentage or energy regen. Overall, energy regen does do less damage, but you do stay more consistently in the transmigrated state. I'm not going to say that attack percentage does less damage than this because that's not the case. This does more consistently keep you in that transmigrated state though. I'm going to go ahead and screen now and show you guys the comparison between running an ERR and an attack rope. As you can see, you know, overall damage, you do get more damage coming from that attack rope. But if we take a look here at the enhanced skill damage, we are doing more enhanced skill damage with the energy regen rope. And that's because we are more consistently in the enhanced skill state. Now keep in mind, this is with running Jingliu on the team and giving her more energy a lot. So if you're running Pela on your team, it's not going to be as beneficial or more beneficial for you to run ERR up here, in my opinion. Here are the stat lines now, or here are the difference between the damage numbers with running ERR versus attack percentage with Pela on your team. As you can see, just about all the damage is going to be lower when you're using like just ERR on her instead of that attack percentage rope with Pela. You do get more ultimate damage out just by a marginal amount. It's not really that much of a difference in damage there. But yes, if you're running Pela, just run attack rope. I think it's going to be better for you in the long run. I still hold true to this claim that she does stay more consistently in her enhanced state with her ERR rope equipped in every circumstance because she's getting more energy back every single time she uses it, and this is just going to be better for her. Now, we are still going to be doing a side-by-side comparison so I can show you guys what that actually looks like, but let's go ahead and talk about the substats now. As far as substats, I would just be focusing on getting attack percentage, crit damage, and speed. These are the main three substats you want to be focusing on. Obviously, anything else you get with her kit will help her out, but these are the three main things you want to be getting for her to really enhance that damage she's going to be doing because her damage is oh so juicy. Now with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about her light cones now. Her best in slot light cone is going to be her signature light cone. This light cone is going to be increasing her crit damage, and whenever an ally gets attacked or loses HP, the wearer of the light cone will get 1 stack of Eclipse. They can get a max of 3 stacks, and this is going to increase the damage by 14%. This can stack up to 3 times. Additionally, this will allow you to ignore a lot of the opponent's defense as well, so really huge. you're just ignoring defense. This is a great light cone, and it really shows how good it is when you compare it against like her second best in slot, which is On the Fall, the Aeon at S5. There is a big damage drop off between using this light cone and using that light cone at full buff. Using both light cones at full buff, her signature light cone just blows On the Fall, the Aeon out of the water. Not saying that it's a bad choice because it is her second best in slot, but this one is just super clutch and super good for her, that it's hard to say not to use this on her or pull for this, right? Because it is really just that good. But yeah, that's really all the statements I have to make about light cones. I mean, all the other light cones work, but the damage drops off even more if you don't use On the Fall of the Aeon. It's just kind of weird, right? Like, you can run a Secret Vow because that is a guaranteed attack buff, but everything else is just kind of not that good for her. So I would recommend her signature light cone at number 1. Like, this is like a very good choice to have. Her number 2 is going to be On the Fall of the Aeon, and her number 3 is going to be a Secret Vow. I'm not going to talk about her Eidolons much. The person's account that I have right now does have her at E1, so this will affect like what you see in battle here. I just want to let you guys know that this is an E1 Jingliu. So with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and hop into our side-by-side comparison now. Alright guys, so hopping into our side-by-side comparison now. For this test, we'll be using Ting Yun with ERR Rope on Jingliu, and also the other best strat, which would be using Pela with attack percentage Rope on Jingliu as well. So to give you guys 2 separate scenarios to like really test out and show you guys the difference in damage here. So as you can see on the right side here, we're hitting around 90k whenever she's in her transmigrated state. It's around 114k on the Pela side, so obviously, like I said, there is a damage difference there. But if you're looking at the consistency between both sides, you'll see that on the right side or on the Ting Yun side, that she is staying in her transmigrated state more often than she is on the Pela side, and that is, like I said, because of the Energy Regen and Ting Yun. Ting Yun helps by giving her that 50 energy boost. If you have her at E6, it'll be a 60 energy boost, which is even better for her, so you're popping, you know, just that tad bit of energy off. There are times when you come really close on the right side with popping out of it and just barely getting enough energy, and that's what the ER Ope is there for, is proccing it off one more time, so you have one more chance to be in that state. And while you're in that state, you're still gaining more energy from the skills you use within that state, meaning whenever you finally pop out of it, you do come out of it with a higher energy cost or higher energy than you would if you were on the Pela side, because you are getting more energy back from just using her skill in general. Also, like I said, Ting Yun is a big help. With her being more kind of SP efficient, you're able to use Ting Yun's skill more often, meaning you can get her ult up more often, which means she gets more energy more often. Now, on the left side, we actually did beat the left side faster, not cycle-wise. We ended the cycle around cycle 28, or we spent 2 cycles on the left side with Pela, versus on the right side, it took us longer to go through it, but we did beat it in 29 cycles. Now, I will say I misplayed one play on the Pela side. I think both would have came out to be around the same as far as like cycle-wise if I didn't misplay it. Just want to give you guys a heads up for that. So I think like both, they're pretty comparable. Even though you're doing more damage with the Pela with attack rope, they come out to be just around the same. Now, another option you could run would be attack rope with, I think Ting Yun is just a better partner in general for her than Pela is. There is argument to be said where, you know, we're using Blade right now. We're on someone else's account right now, so I was just kind of using like the Blade setup. I didn't want to show them side by side. I think if we were to use Pela and Ting Yun on the same team, replacing Blade, this would go by a bit faster. I think that would be the most efficient way. And then also run ERR rope with that. I think it would be absolutely insane damage we'd be getting from that. Anyways, gamers, that's gonna do it for today's video. Yo, big shout out to Scarlet in the comment section and in the Twitch chat. They let me borrow their account so I could use their Jingliu, so because I didn't have them on my account. So really big shout out to them, and grateful that they actually you know, reached out and let me use their account for this build guide today. If you guys enjoyed this build guide, maybe leave a like on the video. If you didn't, then maybe dislike, I don't know. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're gonna have another build guide coming out in QQ here in a couple days, and also a video on why Zila sucks now, or why Zila's in the hunt category is being power crept. So if you're interested in something like that, then we did do a build guide on Ting Yun the other day. So if you have your Jingliu, if you like what you saw here and you want your Jingliu with the help of Ting Yun to help out, then go watch that video. It's a pretty good build guide. I enjoyed it quite a bit making it, and I think a lot of other people did too. Anyways, gamers, that's gonna do it for today's video. Hope everyone enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one later. Bye bye.